rest of the BTS crew that's still around for letting us use this channel as well and giving us a platform to make these things happen here on the Ultimate side. That being said, fist bumped, locked, and loaded, bocchi and Gohma, Lucina and Youngling.
Yep.
This is a matchup, Kevin, we don't see very often, and it feels like one where, again, both characters have tools, but the Youngling just maybe has a slight edge.
Yeah. Bocchi the Glock from Chicago. Definitely happy to be repping my region here on the Lucina, and this matchup is very interesting, actually. The sortie versus the projectile sortie. What can you tell me about this matchup?
Yeah, I think Lucina, right, so good in her neutral game when she gets to control it, when she gets to utilize her way to find these edge guards. She can really exploit Youngling in some of these scenarios. However, Boomerang forces you to play discipline. Fire Arrow, right, one of the best mid-range burst options in the entire game. So if you're Youngling and Lucina's not playing that patient discipline game plan and tries to get a little over-aggressive, Youngling can really make you pay. Right now, though, it is the discipline coming out from Lucina, and you're seeing that she kind of just can hold shield, she can play it patient, and because her sword is bigger, she just gets to out-scrap Youngling a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right now, though, looking to pressure you to the corner, Kevin, and has a potential ledge drop opportunity. Vengeful Pete with the grab. Gonna go high, instead reset for the down air, so not able to find it. Youngling being short enough to get under the rising aerial and lock out the stock. What did we just see there? Because it felt like Gohma just kind of gave that one away and then stole it right back.
Yeah, it was a reversal of the situation there, right? As Lucina, you want to be going for edge guards, and one of Youngling's biggest weaknesses is the linear recovery. So you want to go deep as often as possible, and a counter, that's kind of what you expect to see for the most part. Gohma, unfortunately for Bocchi, was able to come back and reverse the situation on the first stock. Thankfully, Bocchi was able to close it back out, but at 80%, this extra credit is looking a little dire.
It is, especially if you can't find a way back, but not able to capitalize. Gohma already locked in, right? That fire arrow, so wasn't able to capitalize off of the Boomerang, finding its mark by platform. As a result, right, you had a way back to stage as Bocchi the Glock, but right now it's all about just finding a way through this maze. You're getting a little over-aggressive, not able to quite make these hits connect. You're getting the stage control that you're looking for off movement alone, but then when you swing the sword, Link isn't there anymore, and suddenly you're the one getting carved up in turn.
Yeah, Lucina's aerial acceleration is pretty great, but the aerial speed is not that great. So getting ledge trapped is probably the name of the game if you are Bocchi, like dealing with Gohma on the bombs on ledge trap with the boomerangs going high. But if you can hold center stage and force aggression and corner pressure, the game's going to be yours. And that's why we see Gohma just rolling in anytime that they get the opportunity off the ledge. They want to get the center as best as possible.
It's all about holding that center, as you mentioned, so you can set up those active neutral areas, these active things. But then when it comes to playing that game, it's all about giving your space to back up, space to back up, right? Giving yourself space between yourself and Lucina to trap her approaches with those fire arrows, with those boomerangs. Utilize that platform to force it into a certain height that you can cover, and then once she closes the gap, because she will, just like this, how do you find that hit that matters, or how do you find a way out of disadvantage, because she's going to put you there. And right now it's been the parries, it's been the disciplined shield play from Gohma that's really been giving him the edge. He still has to find a way back there. Wow!
Oh, didn't need it. Actually was able to make it back from that deep, holding the jumps as long as they possibly could, waiting out the counter. That's actually massive for Gohma, able to start a little bit of an on-stage situation themselves. Some scrambles. Scrambles are going to go to Youngling. That nair out of shield is too strong. But nicely spaced out. Bocchi gets an advantage state, and maybe he's going to get to close this one out. I like the spot dodge jab. Deep edge guard back air is going to take that stock. We're evened up on stocks, and Bocchi has a chance.
Yeah, Bocchi has a chance, and you saw with those dash dances, right, locked in, knows that they can close this one out, and he is looking for the pressure. Right now, though, it's all about giving yourself that chance in the first place, Kevin, and that means getting away from this Youngling ledge trap, but the biplat gives you that opportunity, now pushing them to the corner, the overcommitment from that down air, from that stone scabber down, and you have to be so careful if you're Gohma, because yes, you can get that fire arrow, you can get that swing into the stocks, but Lucina can and will edge guard you, and Youngling does not have the tools to get around it just like that, but somehow holds on.
Oh, and getting back to center, getting the down smash actually on the corner pressure. Wow, what a turnaround right there. I thought that a massive turnaround was happening for Bocchi, but Gohma is able to get back to stage and just catch a landing. Sometimes it's all you need is just to catch a landing.
Listen, the only turnaround that was happening there was the back hit of that down smash, closing out the game, unfortunately. As you mentioned, though, the momentum was steadily building in bocchi the Glock's favor, right? They were finding those hits, finding those edgeguard scenarios. They just weren't closing out the situations when they had them, right? It felt like those edgeguards were just slipping through his fingers time and time again. And moving into the rest of the set, Kevin.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at a game 2 right now. I believe game 2 just started. We're going to swap over to that for you guys. Getting into the action, and we are here. A little bit of damage has already started for Gohma against bocchi, and a little bit of an advantage state. I like holding center from both of these players. They have to be so strategic about when they choose to back up to the corner, because it could spell detrimental to either one of them.
I really like the small battlefield pick here, though. Like, less space, lower platform. In theory, you're like, well, isn't that what Gohma wants? It's hard to get away from these aerials, or from these projectiles? Yes, but same with Lucina. She has these platforms, and the distance, the height are so good for her to dance around what Young Link wants. Plus, it lanes her opponent into taking more certain heights better, and that's where you can find these recoveries. The no lip with the ceiling and the pineapple in PS2 also means that you're able to find these edge guards under the stage better. And bocchi the Glock, right, started off perfectly fast and now just needs to maintain it.
Yeah, how do you get some extra damage down? You have the stock right now, but you are one stray hit away from dying at any given moment. You space out with F-tilts. You definitely don't want to be in a dangerous spot. That's a great way to rack up some damage. But the corner pressure is strong. Here's the issue. Gohma can play the corners a lot better than bocchi can, so the onus is on bocchi to maintain center stage at all times, whereas Gohma can kind of back up and play a little bit more spacing game like this.
But if you have on the pressure, you can find the shield breaker, Kevin. 1, 2, that's going to be it. No, not quite. Just didn't have enough percent or positioning, but still cleans up the edge guard to force the 3-1 scenario. It's not all about that stage control, though. It's about holding shield under the platform. You see bocchi doing this, even though losing the stock again, right? Holding it at all costs, saying, you can throw a boomerang, but I need to make sure I'm under platform, because it limits the options you can do. And once you hit my shield, then you're stuck to getting hit on the return from me.
Yep, absolutely. Starting a lot of corner pressure right here. Look who's got stage right now. Gohma's actually able to make a turnaround here and start playing a little bit more stage bound. But bocchi is really just floating around this entire time, feeling so unbelievably comfortable that Gohma's the one that has to close out the stock, right? So bocchi can kind of just float around, play bait and punish style.
Yeah, I like that neutral jump, like drop off, jump past ledge, wave land back, just try and create some space. But Gohma's been so disciplined on, I'm going to throw these projectiles left, right, and center. I'm going to only use my sword as the mix-up up close. There's a couple more times I'd like to see some of these aerials, because we're not getting the contestation. It's a little too focused on the item play. And that's really where bocchi's advantage be with that game. But when we did see the sword come out, it was really successful from Gohma.
Mr. Glock able to close out that game, feeling a lot more comfortable. We're seeing a lot more confident edge guarding coming out. All 3 of those stocks, I believe, were on, well, two of them, actually all 3 were on an edge guard. One was because of a shield break setup that got them off stage, and then the edge guard at Gohma was able to close that one out. But the edge guarding is a lot more comfortable, and ultimately, if you have the stock advantage, your movement is going to be a lot more comfortable as well.
Now game 3, Kevin, counter pick advantage on the line, and Gohma opting to take us to the wider PS2 where we saw the success before. I like the attempt there early for that ledge from edge guard scenario from bocchi, holding shield on that hero spin. But remember, unlike Link, Young Link still stays active once they hit shield.
So what does the stage afford Gohma? Is it the additional space to run back? Bocchi has to close the gap a little bit further, more opportunities to mess up. Where are we seeing the advantage for Gohma picking the stage?
You said it perfectly with the wide space, right? Just more room for Young Link to control the pace of the game. Say, I get to be the one to create the space rather than feeling suffocated by Lucina's speed plus her sword. Plus, the high platform height means that those rising aerials, as you saw, right, so good at catching the landings on small battlefield. But here on PS2, those platforms are being slightly higher. Lucina has to commit to the dolphin slash to do it. She gets away less, and she doesn't get to continue the advantage stage for trapping the land advantage to the same degree. So we're seeing less edge guards, not just because of how far away Gohma can be, but because when he does have to come down and commit, the high platforms give him so much room to work with.
Absolutely. Offstage, Gohma is going to get caught. You can't go deep there. You have to jump early, in which case you're actually going to get reacted to. Lucina is going to be able to jump, drift back, and then go for a back air. In any case, that also feels like a checkmate scenario when you get sent at that angle. Gohma, desperate to close out this stock, goes for the down air, wants to set up a lead trap, wants us to spell death. I love the DI out on the boomerang, not able to get the close out, and now, who's got center?
Well, right now it's still the bocchi show, as you see, right, trapping landings 1-2 again. Being able to land on the ground when your opponent's on platform, even in a scramble, means you're still the one in that advantage state, right? You just have such a better position to swing and contest these buttons on reactions on the opponent, because you know what goes up must come down. And right now, bocchi trying to make that happen through the blast zone. Even these down airs from Gohma have been by far their worst habit. They're still working, getting the grab though, taking the stock, gets on the board, but again, so much percent on the name. You have to rack up huge damage here, Kevin.
I love that dolphin slash out of hit stun right there. Really saving bocchi from taking a lot more damage and ultimately sending Gohma so far off stage that they're able to run across the stage and continue their edge guard ledge trap situation, closing out that stock. And now, I mean, Gohma really wants to make something happen here.
Just the amount of pressure we're finding left, right, and center has been immaculate, Kevin. And now, right, you're seeing bocchi try to hold this interior ledge, hold the edge of that Pokeball to just say, I want platform, but I want to hold the interior ledge. I want to force you not under the platform as well, but into that open space. Unfortunately, Gohma has just been so good at forcing bocchi back into the open space in turn, right, and then getting the hit, getting the juggle to dislodge him from his comfort zone, that bocchi hasn't quite been able to find this pressure from the corner, and Gohma maintaining this is exactly how he gets back into this game.
Gohma wants to use these strong outer shield options that Young Link has. What's interesting is that you have to be facing away if you want to deal with a spaced aerial, because you can do like a back air out of shield and make something happen there. But if bocchi lands on your shield, you want the nair out of shield, so you want to be facing towards your opponent. So it's just such a difficult situation to position yourself properly for your out of shield game that bocchi is actually able to pressure shield a lot more than people usually are against Young Link. How do you get back to stage here? You go
Kevin,
high.
I was going to say, what an early recovery, my friend. That was gorgeous. Finding a way back. Bocchi down to up with that back air, right? Just has the checkmate scenario. He gets a little overextended. He spins the fast fall, and as a result, the overextension leads to a reversal that eventually ends up in the stock. Gohma has the chance they needed to potentially steal this counter pick advantage away, and while things look good for bocchi, they are one fire arrow from taking 70% right now.
Forward smash is going to be a great punish on the spinning slash. Is that going to lead to the stock? Bomb in hand is actually going to allow the reversal here. Bocchi off stage. No edge guarding, of course. Young Link is too scared to edge guard against Lucina. The down air eats the projectile, trades, and the deep falling fair closes that game out for bocchi. Up 2-1.
Lucina is so good at that, right? Going down, spending all her resources. As you mentioned, that air acceleration good, even if the speed not so much, means she can kind of, once she's in the air, get where she needs to be, kind of switch directions, get back and dolphin slash back to stage, utilizing that sword to limit her disjoint. Absolutely fantastic stuff from bocchi, but they're up 2-1. Counter pick advantage lock, but the set isn't. We're going right back to PS2 for Gohma, and even though you didn't win the game here, I still like the pick.
Yeah, again, it is the right pick, right? You have that longer stage, you're able to play around your projectiles more, and you force bocchi to walk up a lot further. It's basically an additional interaction that you can potentially punish by dashing back because you have more space to do so. That said, who's been controlling the pace of the game? Who's been holding down center and forcing Gohma to circle camp? That's bocchi. He's got the control, but Gohma's starting to turn some stuff around now.
And you see, right, Gohma just doing a much better job trying to trap these landings on platform. Bocchi was able to use them last game to get out of a dodge time and time again for free, utilizing this wavelength just like that, catching these early hero spins in the center stage. But this time, Gohma's spacing them better, recognizing those downers better, and finding ways to avoid the punishes for the same scenarios that keep getting him caught out last time. Now the drag down up smash. My friend, he is cooking, opening up this game in dominant fashion. This is the way he needed to start this to keep himself in this set.
Dolphin slash whiffs for the first time this set, and that kind of spells a little bit of what this game is about. Bocchi can't quite get their openings, and Gohma's controlling the pace of the game, finding a lot of grabs where normally they wouldn't have been able to find grabs. And bocchi getting on these platforms, trying to make something happen. I love the wait out on the air dodge. It really feels like Gohma's got bocchi's number right now.
Yeah, dude, just the amount of pressure, right? If you missed the tag, it doesn't matter. Gets it down into the reset on the platform. But PS2, my friend, so wide, even from platform, not quite enough. And Youngling forward air, absolutely a kill button, but not quite enough. Again, up to bocchi to come back, but not able to find it. Still gets the push to the corner, but because of those high, kind of shifted in PS2 plats, you're able to get back from ledge for free relatively easily based on that position.
Ledge trap. We're too scared to ledge trap a little bit too far. Too scared of getting reversal. And again, the onus is on bocchi to come back to center stage. So that's why Gohma decided to play further back, knowing that bocchi's probably going to swing and punish.
And those jumps were something we scouted out, right? We saw bocchi take that route back the last 2 times he did so. So Gohma said, I bet you'll try it again. He did because he didn't get punished the first 2. And the spacing difference was what was needed to cause the maximum punish. 3 stocks to 1, now 3 stocks to 2. Is a good lead from Gohma, but we know he shouldn't be comfortable there, right? Bocchi more than capable of running back from being down, especially here at the ledge. It could just be a quick edge guard if you're not comfortable, especially when you're trapping these landings, playing the perfect positioning, but again, it's just missing that one extra hit that has been throughout the set, the thing for bocchi that has given Gohma so many extra chances.
Yeah, Gohma played very patiently there to recover, which I think was crucial, right? 122%, you're on a fresh second stock. If you had lost that, that could have spelled a big trouble because that's how bocchi, I think, came back the last game. So Gohma setting up very, very safely as always, holding center because that's what bocchi wants.
I love the parry. I love the up smash, getting the trap, and Gohma gonna lock it down in very solid fashion, showing you, hey, yeah, I took him to PS2. Yeah, I lost the last time. But guess what? Them's just notes.
Definitely going to see a stage swap here. PS2 is too uncomfortable for Lucina. You want something smaller, more compact. What are the bans, do you think, from a Youngling player here?
That's a good question. I mean, I think it's personal preference. A lot of the time, I think there's a lot of different ways you can go. I think you want them to take you somewhere like Smashville, and I was going to say, I think we're just going back to small battlefield. Yeah. That's where we are going. Anyway, again, both characters, both players like biplats just too much, as we see in platform fighters, no matter the game. Yeah. And for Lucina, less stage, lower platforms, you said it best, right? She just smothers you here, and as the bigger stage is uncomfortable for Lucina, so the smaller one is uncomfortable for Youngling.
Yeah, exactly. So those are definitely going to be the bans and the non-selects, getting us to small battlefield where bocchi was able to show some prowess last time. And we're seeing that kind of come out right here. Gohma over-aggressing, trying to take space, trying to force space, but unfortunately almost getting reversaled from that.
He doesn't quite, though, get to take too much punishment, right, for the pain he put himself through. Get the F smash read to trap the landing. Bend out that arrow dodge in, right? It's such a common panic option ultimate. Something we've seen Gohma do a couple times, but never really get called out for in this set. Game 5, though, right, is where you put it all on the table, Kevin. You pull out all those stops. No aces to leave up your sleeve for this set. And these two are doing it in full force right now.
You can react to pretty much every one of Youngling's recovery options as Lucina. It's just a matter of how early you jump off the stage. Bocchi has to time their jumping off the stage perfectly to be able to cover every option, low, mid, or high. And whenever they're on, they're absolutely on.
Right now, I just love these toss backs, toss forwards, right, trapping the landing and recognizing it's all about positioning over anything else. But Gohma with his very tricky drift, right, it's just been these micro adjustments in the air from him that allow him to find some of these reversals over what seems to be a pretty solid swing on the surface from bocchi, yeah. But for Youngling, he has the tools to cover it.
Absolutely. Being center stage, bocchi's got it again. Gohma's at the corner, at the ledge, trying to force their way back in with projectiles, actually being pretty successful in it. Finds a fire arrow, and now at the corner is bocchi. Not where you want to be. Forward air is going to eat your stock, and up air will do the same, and Gohma has evened up the stock.
And Kevin, he is breathing a sigh of relief right now. You know, 142, Lucina living that long can just be absolutely brutal. They're getting a whole extra stock per game if they stretch us 3 times in a row that way. And so, you know, 60%, 75 now. Okay, I got it. 50 separates us, 40% even, right?
Nice.
Yes, I lose my stock, but at least I got something. At least it's a little bit closer now, because if you were down 3 stocks to 1, you would just, the mental would be gone.
It would have been a problem, but unfortunately Gohma was unable to close any more of the gap right there as bocchi found a very nice call out on the high recovery. He said, I know you went for that last time and it worked for you. I'm going to make sure it doesn't work for you again, even if it costs me an edge guard.
I'm surprised that we've seen throughout this set Gohma keep going for these forward airs on the mistech on platform, because Youngling can get a second fire arrow there, right? into the combo extension. It doesn't like look quite as flashy as what Toon Link can get in those situations, but you still get quite a lot. However, Gohma just trying to take some more guaranteed stage positioning, some damage, and this is a huge opportunity. Why, right? You have the ability to ledge trap Lucina. You have the ability to find these edge guards, but even at 147, again, 2 stocks in a row now that it's 150% before bocchi goes down.
Gohma stopped swinging and decided to start playing a little bit slower. Finds the down tilt into the up air to close out the stock, which, again, very crucial. You've closed the entirety of the gap that was against you, pretty much a 0 to death there with only like a couple of missed trades, and now you've got a little bit of advantage in stage, you've got advantage in positioning, and now advantage in percent. What a big turnaround for Gohma.
I think I absolutely agree with you. I mean, he has completely flipped the momentum of this game on its head, slowing it down as the pressure mounts, and you know that has got to be having an effect on both players. Game 5, like this, Kevin, in winner's quarters, right? You know you're almost there. You're almost about to make it out. You don't want to drop down to losers right now.
No.
And for one of these players, that's going to be the reality. Bocchi is letting this one slip away, but knows I still only need a couple hits. I'm still in this one. If I find this positioning, I find this edge trap, that grab, it's worked every time, but now it's not working. What do I do? And Gohma feels confident in the driver's seat unless he overextends.
Yeah, unless you overextend is right, because it only takes one interaction, but it matters where your positioning is for that interaction if you're Gohma. You only need one interaction anywhere on stage to close out the stock against Lucina, but if Lucina gets you off stage, that's the issue.
The big shield break! He's gonna find it, push to the corner? Oh no, Kevin, that's gonna be it. Baby, what a call out to close it. You saw the Waveland too beforehand to get that pressure, get the coverage, to get your shield in the right position, to force a panic scramble, right? Even though that situation started.
Yeah.
And then it came back where it's like, even though I'm the one in disadvantage here, you're anxious, you're uncomfortable because you didn't expect that, so you're gonna reset. Then once you do, hey, I noticed you jump at me a lot, right? Once I hold center stage, because you don't get to run away far enough to shoot those arrows, throw those boomerangs with impunity. That's where that reverse shield breaker came in, and just the raw call out. I mean, we were saying, Gohma had the momentum, swung all the way back in his favor, but all it took was one hit from bocchi.
The selection was great too, right? You haven't used Shield Breaker but like once or twice, and it's hit both times throughout the rest of the set.
It broke shield both times, too.
Yeah, exactly, because you're choosing a falling option as Lucina. Normally you could just shield it and use an out of shield option or just dash away if it's spaced well. The one thing you can't do whenever you are shielding against a falling Lucina is eat shield break, and that was the only correct option to win the game in that interaction.
And remember too, right, based on the height and the position he's doing it, if you initial dash to cross them up underneath there, you're too far away because of the momentum to punish that shield break. If you dash back, you get caught out by the shield break. You get stabbed in the back, you hold shield. Well, we saw what happens. If you jump, yes, you can get out of dodge and fight and punish, but you have to know it's coming.
Yeah.
And it was just a great recognition of the scenario, a great setup, that while there was counterplay too, as you mentioned, normally Lucina's looking for those rising aerials. When you're just stuck falling like that, they don't expect such a drastic timing mix-up, both in terms of jump height and frame data, right? One that can transition aerial to grounded too without resetting, and Gohma just got caught out when it mattered most.
Yeah.
Happens.